Hello students. In this video, we will be learning how to sketch straight lines. So for sketching the straight lines, we need to first know how the equation of the straight line looks. So here it is, the three common forms of the equation of a straight line. This is the first form in which y is made the subject. So y is equals to mx plus c, where we all know that m is the gradient and C here is the y-intercept. Y-intercept means the point where the line cuts the y-axis. And these are other two common forms of the equation of a straight line. So if we take a closer look in the equation of a straight line, the key feature from which we identify that this equation belongs to the equation of a straight line is this, that the power of x will always be 1 in case of straight lines. In all the equations, we see that the power of x is 1. Here, the power of x is 1. Here, the power of x is 1. And here also, the power of x is 1. So, in all of these three equations, we can see that the power of x is 1, which is why we call all of these the linear equations, because the power of both the variables here x and y are 1, and from linear we can see that the word line is there, so it is easier for us to remember that the equation of lines are always of this type where the power of x is 1. So we know that a line is the shortest distance between any 2 points. For any 2 points that is given to us, if we join these 2 points, we will get a straight line. So our straight lines either look of any of these 4 types. If we take a closer look in here, this is the y-axis drawn and this black line is our x-axis. And all of these lines are ways in which a straight line can be drawn. So in the first line, the green line, if we see in here, there is no steepness at all. What is gradient? Gradient is the steepness of a line or of the line. So if we see in here, this line is completely horizontal. For a horizontal line, we can say that the gradient is 0 because it is not steep at all. So in here, the gradient is 0. If we take a look at this red line in here, in this line, we can see that there is some steepness, and as this is the axis, we know that here we have the negative numbers and here we have all the positive numbers. So if we go from left to right, we can see that this is an upward sloping curve line. So for an upward sloping line, our gradient is always positive. Similarly, if we take a look at this blue line in here, if you go from left to right, the line is coming downwards. So it is a downward sloping curve. So for a downward sloping line, our gradient is always negative. And this vertical line is where our graph has maximum steepness. It is completely vertical, so our gradient is considered to be infinite in this case. Now, to draw any straight line, we first have to understand that these points are called intercepts. These points are called intercepts. Now, what do we mean by intercept? An intercept is any point that the graph cuts with the x or y axis. So, if the graph cuts the x-axis, that point where the graph cuts is called the x-intercept. If the graph cuts the y-axis, the point where the graph cuts is called the y-intercept. So, to draw any straight line, we have to consider the intercepts. to sketch any straight line, we will always consider the intercepts. So for any point on the x-axis, we know that the value of y is 0. So for any point at the x-axis, we have y 0. So we will replace 0 in place of y in the equations. And from there, we will be able to find out the point on the x-axis. Similarly, at y-axis, we will have x is equals to 0 and we will get the value for y. When we join these 2 points on the axis, we get the equation of the, we get the line that is required for us to sketch. So in here, this is an equation where we have y is equals to 5x plus 3 and we are required to sketch this. So how are we going to sketch this? We will first find out the intercepts. So we know we have to find out the points on the x and y axis. So at x axis, I will get y is equals to 0. So if I place 0 in here in this equation, I get 5x plus 3. So I have x is equals to minus 3 by 5. Again, for any point at y-axis, we have x is equals to 0. So we will place 0 in place of x in the given equation. So we will get y is equals to 5 into 0 plus 3, which will give us 3. Now, if we are to plot these 2 points, we have the y-axis given to us, we have the x-axis given to us. And if we plot these 2 points, we will get x is equals to negative 3 over 5. So negative 3 over 5 is closer to the origin and y is 3. So somewhere here, and if we draw these two, join these 2 points, we will get the line which looks somewhat like this. This is our 3 and this right here is minus 3 by 5. Like this, we can draw all of the graphs. If we want to draw another graph of, let's say, y is equals to minus 2. So how are we going to draw this graph? We are going to place, if we see that y is equals to minus 2 is where, if you compare this with the general graph, you have y is equals to mx plus c, and if you compare, you see that the value of m here is 0. So we understand that it should be a horizontal line. In other words, if we want to draw a graph of y is equals to negative 2, so what we have is, in all points of the graph, in all points of the line, x can vary, but the value of y is fixed at negative 2. So we know that this is 1, this is 2. In here we have minus 1 and negative 2 is here. So at minus 2, all of the points of the straight line is fixed at y. So whatever points of x we consider, if for x is equals to 1, our value of y will be minus 2. For x is equals to negative 2, our value of y will also be negative 2. For x is equals to 5, our value of y will again be negative 2. So whatever value of x we take, our value of y has to be fixed. So we can understand that this will always be a horizontal line. So if we draw this line, it will look like this. So we can see that we get a line like this, which is a completely horizontal line. At every point on this line, we can clearly see that our value of y stays at -2, but our values of x change. Let's say this is -3, then the value of y is -2. If we take 1, then also our value of value of y on this line is -2. Let's move to the next one. We have another example of x is equals to 1 by 5. Now, if we consider this line, x is equals to 1 by 5 means in all points of the graph, the x coordinate will be 1 by 5. The y coordinate can be any other point. So if this is our y-axis and this is our x-axis, then we know that let's say somewhere here we have 1 by 5. 1 by 5 is a positive number, so it should be on the right side of 0. Now we know that for all points on the graph, on the line, we will have 1 by 5 as the x coordinate. So all the values of x will be 1 by 5. Y values can change. So y values can change. So if y is 1, then also the value of x is 1 by 5. If y is -2, then also the value of x is 1 by 5. If y is any other number, let's say -4, then also the value of x is 1 by 5. So for any value of y, the value of x stays fixed at 1 by 5. So we can say that this should be a vertical line. So if we want to draw this line, the line should look more like this. Is a very much vertical line we can see, and all points on this line have x coordinate of 1 by 5. With this, we can move to another example in here where we are given this line. The equation of this line is 3y plus 2x is equals to 12, and we are asked to sketch this. So this is not an equation which looks like x is equals to something or y is equals to something in here. So these lines will not be completely vertical or horizontal. So in order to sketch this, we will again take at x-axis, we have y is equals to 0, we know. So in the given equation, in place of y, we are going to put 0. So from there, we will be able to solve for x, and the value of x comes as 6. And at y-axis, we have x is equals to 0. So we get 3y plus 2. We put 0 in place of x, and we get y is equals to 4. Now, x is equals to 6 and y is equals to 4. We will plot these two lines. So y is equals to, let's say this is 2, this is 4. And in here we have 2, 4, and 6. So x is equals to 6, y is equals to 4. Now, if we join these 2 points, we will get a curve or the line that we are asked to sketch. So this is what the graph looks like. We don't need to draw the graph. In here, we are only asked to sketch. So we will give these points in here only. We will sketch with only the 2 points that we need to join in order to form the straight line. Apart from these 2 points, we could have taken any other points as well. If we wanted, we could have taken 2 extra points. Let's say instead of at x-axis y is equals to 0, at y-axis x is equals to 0, instead of considering intercepts, we could have taken 2 random points. Let's say at x is equals to 1, and at x is equals to 2, two random points, or let's say minus 2. If we take these 2 points, we will also be able to get the same kind of line. All we need to do is, in the equation that is given to us, in place of x in here, we will put 1 and minus 2. If we want, we can also take 0, but taking 0 will give us y is equals to 4 again. So if we put 1 and minus 2, we will be able to find out the 2 points. So if we put 1 in place of x, we will get 3y plus 2 into 1 is equals to 12. So we will get 3y is equals to 10, which gives us y is equals to 10 by 3. And for x is equals to negative 2, we will get 3y plus 2 into minus 2 is equals to 12. So we will be getting 3y is equals to 12 plus 4, which will be 16. So y is equals to 16 by 3. These 2 points. If we plot these 2 points, these will be points on the graph. For negative 2, it will be a point somewhere here. And for 1, it will be a point in here. X is equals to 1 and this is x is equals to negative 2. This is 16 by 3, a point slightly over 4, and this point is 10 by 3, which is 3.33, a point less than 4. So with any other 2 points also, we can sketch the graph and we will end up with the same line. In the other examples also, in here, when the equation is y is equals to minus 2, we can take any 2 random points. We know if we take x is equals to 1, we will get y is equals to minus 2. And if we take x is equals to minus 5, then also we will get y is equals to minus 2. And using these 2 points, we can draw the line very easily. In the next lecture, we will try to cover on how to sketch quadratic graphs.